today, one of the finest musicians, songwriters, and singers I've ever had the privilege of knowing, Kian Sparkes. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
Well, I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate you being willing to be open to this idea of recording an NFT of your music. I actually think that you're perfect for this, and I just want to kind of introduce you by saying why. I think you'd be a good investment, and I think your career is a good investment. You've got this indomitable spirit. There's something about you that just, you make the greatest music. I feel like, you're like a hero to me. I've given up on music, and I've been going through the motions. I've been doing some stuff, recording some stuff, but you just keep making music and you keep getting better. You're on this trajectory where your recording is just like getting better and better. Your songwriting skills have really always been just amazing to me. And you're so prolific. And I think that is a key to, what an investor would look for, right, in an NFT, someone who's really just always creating new things, and you latch on to new technology like you're doing now. I've seen you just like immediately grasp onto Patreon. The things you're doing on YouTube are amazing. You've got it all coordinated, and you just, immediately you do it, but you just focus on the music. You are just 100% laser focused on the music. And, obviously the main thing though is your songs, your talent. Any of your songs, I think, are just built around these moments of extreme brilliance, but they flow so well together. It's just so natural, and just I marvel at the way you construct bridges and your song structures, but more it's just the way the lyrics are just so natural. It's just I think the first instinct I have when I hear one of your songs is I want to pick up the guitar and I want to learn it. I want to play it myself. I want to be able to do that. And it's really great to have you on. I hope that we can give people a feel for some of your music, and I'm going to cut in some of the songs here when we talk about them, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you very much. Very kind.
Awesome. Okay, so you just released a song. The most recent one I saw was called Cold Morning Coffee. I really like that one. It had a groove to it, like a piano guitar groove. That to me, and the bass too. The way it really just drove that. It reminded me of like, I don't know that it's that genre necessarily of like jam band music, but it reminded me of the Grateful Dead when they really got going.
Cool, yeah.
On a good old Americana song. That's what it had, that feel of just the piano and the guitar driving so perfectly, and the slide on that song. Amazing. You're an amazing slide player.
Thank you. Yeah. I love playing slide guitar. I have to stop myself a lot of the time because I'd be sliding over everything. But but no, I love the sound. I always have done. I think that comes from growing up with Skinner. So Gary Rossington, Duane Allman with the Allman Brothers, George Harrison, all those sort of folks who've been slide players, Joe Walsh, Dunfeld, all those slide players. That's where that came from, yeah. But no, yeah, I love it. And I think it's a hard technique, but it's, I think
I'm not very good at it.
It took me a long time, and I still need a lot of work on it. But
no, I think you're amazing. You got a lot of guitars there. Is there a particular one you use for slide?
Yeah. This one, so it's
an SG.
SG, yeah. It's a 61 reissue. It's not a real 61.
Yeah.
But that's the
still
one I slide.
Do you have it raised up at all, or?
A lot of the time I'll jack up the nut.
Okay.
Just to give me a little bit more leeway. But when I play live, when I could play live, I use the same guitar mainly for every song. So I've just technique of playing slide with a normal action guitar. But that's
really,
that's the beautiful.
That's amazing.
SG. I love that one. Big story.
Yeah, that is a beautiful instrument.
It's all beaten up, as you can see.
So that's the one we hear on the record.
Yeah, cool.
Awesome.
Great guitar.
Yeah, great song, great chorus. I mean, it blew me away. You keep getting better and better, and you've been doing some remasters that I've heard of some of your older songs that have been blowing me away. Could you tell us a little bit about what you've been doing there?
Yeah, with 2020, with the COVID thing and everything, which has been a real bummer, real down time for many musicians. Well, every musician,
That's for sure.
We got locked down at the beginning of the year here in the UK. And I just found that I had all this music in me and here, and I wanted to write songs, and I've got ideas all the time. But I just found I was physically locked down, but I was also mentally locked down. And I was in a really, not in a dark place, but in a musically dark place. I didn't feel like I could create. So I just took that and tried to make a positive out of it. And the first two albums that I released, Unfinished Business and Has It Got What It Takes albums, I'd always said that I wanted to go back and remix them and remaster them because I didn't like the sound that I got when I first did those albums. I wasn't as good a mixer and producer as I am now, as I'm going through that learning curve. Also, the tech gear that I had wasn't as good as it is now. So I was like, I want to get a better sound. So to make a bad situation into a positive situation, I decided to remix and remaster those two albums to get them to what I heard in here. A little bit like I understand why George Lucas wanted to redo Star Wars and stuff like that to get to see it. But I just wanted to do that, and that I believe to my ears that they're sounding better than they originally were, and that was my.
They sound amazing.
That was my.
That much is certain. I was listening to some, and
cool.
It was amazing, and I mean I could not find fault with any of the recordings. I mean it was
Thank you.
Amazing to listen to, and you do the video so well, you know, with all the different parts and everything.
Yeah, that was once I figured out how to do it, it's quite easy. The hardest part was I use a Mac, and there was an issue with some of the software. It wouldn't render, it wouldn't download the files. So I was having, it took me longer to actually get the software to work than it did to actually shoot the videos and put them together. Fortunately, that's all fixed. That's all been sorted out now. But yeah, the videos, I really enjoyed doing them. But yeah, it's cool. It's all great. Yeah.
Yeah, it's wonderful to see. Yeah, you've been doing a lot of stuff, and so I wanted to bring up with people how important it is for me to do this interview, and I have talked to you before, and yeah, you're just actually, I feel like a part of the journey for me. So about 14 months ago, I was doing a different job, and I just felt like it wasn't really doing what I needed in my life or whatever, and like I had kind of topped out, like I couldn't go anywhere else with it. And I decided I was going to take on this huge challenge of like starting a company that would, do something awesome for musicians, like, and of course I quickly learned that the founder's journey and all of that stuff is, they talk about a J curve because it's just straight down to your ultimate bottom, right? You're just asking to fail, and you just have to expect that and roll with it. And so at least I was reading these books that were telling me that stuff. And it really was that way, where it's like, you think you have this idea and you have no idea until you do it. But still, I tried to put myself in the shoes of a musician, and the stuff I was recording, it was like, throwaway to me. I couldn't put my heart in it. It's like I had given up on music, maybe about 12 years ago. I can actually, think of the time when I did, and I just gave up because of money reasons.
Yeah, yeah.
And, I thought that, okay, I'm going to put myself in the shoes of a musician, not because I want to like actually make music again or something like that, or actually care, because I couldn't put myself out there like that or something. I couldn't put myself into it, and so I was doing like cover songs or whatever, just, to try to learn what it's like nowadays to be in the business so that I could help people like that, and that kind of thing. With this business, you have to sort of, be the user of your product, right? And so I started trying to do other things, and it just felt like I was this like train running through station after station, and just, is there an answer here? Brewing through this, digging through that. And one of the many ideas I had, and not even an idea, but more just part of the search, was to try to start a podcast, to get to know the people who are having these struggles, of trying to make money in the business and that kind of thing. And so, yeah, that was when I put out like just a little thing on Facebook in the Produce Like a Pro Facebook group. So we met through the Produce Like a Pro thing. I still a member of that, and I know you are, right?
Yeah, cool, yeah.
Yeah, and that's Warren Hewitt's YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Wonderful stuff, and I mean, I've learned so much from it, and you really have just, taken it to a whole different level than whatever I've been able to do with it. I'm amazed to see the things that you do with recording. You've become a master at it. I've not. I've had a lot of fun, but
yeah, cool. I don't. Yeah, thank you. I don't class myself as a master at all. Always learning, and I think it's probably my sort of personality, but I think Warren's a great guy. I've spoken to him a few times. I'm a lifelong. I've got life with the Produce Like a Pro.
Oh yes,
but it's helped me get from there to there, or from there to there. But I still think that I want to be up here, going. But I think that's. I think that's, I don't know whether that's the human spirit or whether that's the musician spirit or whether that's the creative spirit, that if you're a true creative, you will always want to go the next step, whichever step that is. But it's interesting for what you were saying there. You start up, and a lot of people might come to it think they're going to do that, but actually, yeah, that Jade thing, yeah, that's really quite interesting. I've never heard that before. That's really quite, yeah, that really flies with the musician as well. I think it's a creative thing, isn't it? Whether it's business or music.
Well, yeah, with music, at least for me, it's always been an expense rather than an income, and so that's what we really want to change with the whole NFT
Yeah,
thing,
yeah.
and that's why I finally feel like I have something to give you. I mean, we did an interview, and I just basically gave up. I abandoned the project. I knew I wasn't doing anything for you. It wasn't a very good interview. It's actually maybe the worst interview that has ever been done in the history of interviews. But
I don't,
but
I don't
I
think
mean,
that.
at least from my perspective,
Yeah.
you had some good stories, and the parts where I shut up were good, and I should do that more now, I suppose. But yeah, so let's talk about some more of your songs. That's where this needs to go, I think. So I've been listening to a lot of them. Let's maybe talk about what song you were thinking about for the NFT. I think that's the most important thing on everyone's mind.
Cool. Yeah, I'm just we had a quick chat before, didn't we? But I think I'm writing a new song at this minute in time that I'm stepping through on my YouTube channel, and showing people how I write and my process, and then how I produce and stuff like that. Purely to try and build something on there. But I'm actually thinking that song might be the best one to use. It's called Horns of Old. But I'm thinking with this NFT thing, and keep trying to make exclusivity, which I think is a really, really great idea, and a great way to think. I do an awful lot of remixes and different versions of songs anyway. So I would take one song, and then once I've finalized it, I create a different version of it. And that's what I was saying about when I used to buy the maxi singles back in the day. You'd get like a different version of the song, a different mix of the song. One of my favorite songs of all time is Fat Bottom Girls by Queen. And I've got a maxi single where the single version is different to the album version. And I was always like, wow, that's super cool. And you're giving your people who want to support you, supporters, they're getting more from you instead of just the same thing printed again onto another piece of plastic or onto another digital format. So I'm thinking Haunts of Old, really, because I want that out. That's going to be out by the end of this year. That's the one that I'm thinking of pushing forward with.
Very cool. So that's the new one you're writing now, huh?
Yeah, to complete and utter brand new one, instead of going back and taking something from previous works, which
yeah, no, that's
I've got quite a lot at the minute. I'm just thinking of something. I think it'd be nice to do something. It's a new venture. It's a new idea. It's a new, prospect. I think it'd be nice to take something new into it. But like I say, it'll be a totally, utterly, it won't be a totally like dance version or stuff like that. It'll be a different mix or a different version of that song that I would then use elsewhere with the original version, and the exclusive one would go to the exclusivity of an NFT. That's my sort of idea. And, I think you said it, this is something that people need to figure out for themselves, and what would this do and what would that do and this and that and the other. But to me, the exclusivity is really, really, that sort of pings something in my head. So, but that's cool. Yeah. So Haunts of Old. And I also, hopefully, touch wood, people will follow along and they'll get value out of how I write and how I produce sort of stuff as well, which might help.
Yeah. I think that's so wonderful that you, people can really follow along in your process, the things you've been doing. I know people are going to be really excited about this, the NFT, and just being able to be a part of the process. Um, that sounds really exciting. And yeah, you were talking about how we're all just going to kind of have to figure this out on our own. Like, no one's really done this before. There have been, some attempts. Usually what it is people are selling art or like a video and there's a track that goes with it or something. But as far as selling just music, it's not really been done before. And that's because the existing platforms don't really work that well with it. But these guys they're actually working constantly right now, especially Vincent. I did an interview with him. I don't know if you saw that.
I haven't seen that one yet, but I will. I'll hunt it down.
It's over my head. I'm just telling you. I mean, I'm struggling to keep up with him. He's, like way beyond me. That's for sure. I mean, he's actually coding. He's the one who's actually coding this NFT minting, right?
Yeah.
But he's been working on adding extra stuff just for musicians, like, album art, is going to be, just easy. It's all going to be ready to go, and royalties are going to transfer. So like, say you make this on Ghostmarket and you say, if someone resells this, they have to pay you 10 or 20 or 30 or whatever percent you set. If like, later on these NFTs, because these are the Phantasma smart NFTs, they could transfer over to Ethereum or get resold anywhere, right? That's the idea. But that royalty percentage will be maintained. That's something that he says is absolutely no problem. So that's really exciting. There's so many good things about this, and they're working really hard to make sure that, that this works for musicians.
Yeah.
And there's even stuff I can't talk about, honestly. But it's really exciting. Let me just put it that way. And it's really exciting to be at the beginning of it. That's what is so great. And you're the perfect person to have at the beginning. I mean, the way you just adapt to new technology and but still just so laser focused on music. I really want to, I don't know how you're going to sell this, like auction functionality. That's another thing. I'm dropping bombshell after bombshell actually in this interview here.
Yeah.
They're going to have auction functionality going live at the same time on Ghostmarket. So you don't even have to set a price. You can have people bid, and I know I will bid because I would love to invest in your career. And so I should actually be talking people down. I should be like saying, hey, yeah, this guy, it's so good, whatever.
No, this guy's rubbish.
That would be horrible. You don't want to buy that. But no, that wouldn't be the right strategy. I'm all about the long term. I mean, like, that's the thing in crypto. A lot of people are just in it for the short term. They want to pump this coin and they wanted the price to go up for a second or whatever. And this is not that kind of project. We want to build something long term, and I hope that this is something that you can do again and again, and get more people involved. And if that does happen, that's when the price of soul will really be something. If we can get a bunch of people involved and we can all just look at this as a long-term investment in a community. And that's what's exciting to me. And also the United States tax laws are highly disadvantageous to people who trade cryptocurrency compared to other countries. So we have to take a long-term perspective. Like, I can only really look at something that I want to actually hold for a long time. And actually, I don't even put much money into cryptocurrency. It's not a big thing for me. I have my own business where my money is. But this is just part of my overall goal of fixing music. So that is, think about the kind of people we are. We're musicians, right? Like, to me, if somebody said you could have $1 billion and never play music again, or you can have a comfortable life and you can play music all day and that's what you could do for the rest of your life, like, I wouldn't even hesitate for a second,
Yeah. I think,
but in any case,
it's intrinsic, isn't it? That's why you're a musician. That's why you're a creative, because that's the way you're wired.
Yep.
I know if I don't play music, if I don't pick a guitar up in a day, I suppose, or if I don't hear a song, I'm lost, or I'm like totally different person. But then when I've got doesn't matter what type of music it is, just as well, dance music, we can put that aside, but any real human music, it's just flowing through me and all around me, and it just makes me a happier person and a happier place.
Yeah, same here. I mean, But for me, I think the music business aspect it killed it so much that I actually got to the point where I would just play for myself, and
well, that's what I do. I'd love it if lots of other people liked my music and sort of bought stuff and downloaded stuff and all that, and supported me in that way. But most of that I write for myself. That's not a selfish thing, but that I just write for myself, and I don't think I'm going to write this song because I know that person on Twitter or that person on YouTube said they like this song. I'm going to write another one of them. I write what I write, and I write for myself, and I write what I like, and hopefully people like that too. So it's
that really comes through in your music.
Very organic and very very honest. I think that's the way to put it.
Yeah, absolutely. So if we were going to listen to some of your songs here,
okay,
I'm going to put in that Cold Morning Coffee earlier, and that is a really good one. And Pocket Dream, that is a great song as well.
Great, yeah.
Just has more of that incredible slide guitar.
Thank you. Yeah.
And the way it opens up, the arrangement opens up for the vocals when it comes in. I think I tried to explain that last time I talked to you, and I used the word sparse. And when I listened to it again, I was like, what am I even saying? It's so hard to talk about music. But like the other instruments drop away, and then that vocal
cool. Yeah.
drops in there. And the harmony on that song, amazing. So let's listen to Pocket Dreams, if you don't mind.
Fantastic. Yeah, great.
Living life the way it's always been. Now his boss has gotta let him go. He's always dreaming of her, And living hard times is what it means. They're just gonna dream on each other all the time, sleeping next to another. They're just living
That's very. Um, I love the Eagles. I love Queen. I love the Everly Brothers, Simon and Garfunkel. So all those harmony vocalists or harmony groups. That's the type. The Beatles, close harmonies. Beach Boys. I'm not really that, but I can really appreciate the harmony and the close harmony, and that's what I tried to do myself. And I really enjoy it. I just love that sound. Just think it's nice to have. I think the best ever harmony vocalist was Phil Everly. Just the sweetest voice and just the way that he approached enhancing a melody and a vocal line was just phenomenal.
Yeah, your harmonies are just phenomenal. Just it blows me away every time.
Thank you.
And then another song that I really liked the harmonies was "Weather in Heaven" for sure. That one's a very touching song.
Yeah,
I really like that one.
That's one of my favorite songs that I've written to date. I shouldn't have favorites, but that's one of my favorite songs. Yeah, and it's really special, a really special song, and a lot of people have commented on how special it is for them as well.
That's for sure.
Which is really that's half, that's a good feeling that it's helped somebody in a situation. It's cool.
It's such a good piano song. There's I when I think of you, I think of guitar player, but lately I've just been noticing the keys. Like,
yeah, I am guitar number, that's my first instrument. Keys, I'm not good at. I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to teach myself more. Studio technology nowadays has enabled me to really expand what I can do. I try to play as much as I possibly can myself, but sometimes I will use a VST to get the studio quality sound, the playing. If my playing's not good enough when it comes to keys, that's when I'll go for a MIDI file or a MIDI program to run them with, but then always try and make it sound real within the mixing process and the production. But yeah, I love that song. It's very dear to me, and like I say, it's heartfelt that it's dear to other folks as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, it comes across in your production that you really make everything perfect, and you pay that attention to detail. It's really nice. It's amazing to hear, and you're playing. I mean, it's incredible. I was just listening to "Growing Trend," that beautiful acoustic riff at the beginning. Yeah. Is that on your hummingbird? Is that what I see in the background? The hummingbird?
It's on the hummingbird. Yeah, it's one of my favorite guitars. But that was bought back in 2010, I think. Well worn. Every day, but that was on this one. But that's cool. Yeah. That is just Growing Trend. I love that song, and to me, that one when I heard the bridge in that song, I could not believe what a well-crafted bridge. Cool.
I mean, your songcraft, to me, as a fellow songwriter, I have to say, it just blows me away, the things that you come up with.
Thank you.
And that's how natural.
I've got, I think that's from listening to so many fantastic songwriters and trying to learn from them every day, really. My go-to album at this minute in time, I don't know if you've heard it, but the new Springsteen album is phenomenal. Letter to You.
I have not heard that yet. I've seen people mention that.
It's another level. It's absolutely amazing. But listening to songwriters from Dylan, from George Harrison, Lennon McCartney, all the way up to like Freddie Mercury, Queen, Guns N' Roses, just trying to take and make songs and trying to learn and try and bring things in and trying to. I don't actually dissect songs very much, but I just like to listen and then let them wash over me and then take them in. But and then it's obviously coming back out within that big, massive melting pot of ideas that is going in, which is cool.
Well, I really enjoyed seeing you come up with the song on the acoustic guitar in your latest videos. That's been just tremendous to me. I mean, as soon as I heard that, I wanted to pick up the guitar and play along. I knew it was going to be a great song. And then,
Cool.
you know, you do creative mixing though. You don't just, like you have this idea, but then to see what it becomes, you're blown away again. I was noticing like the song Rise, for example, there was a lot of really creative mixing with that one.
Yeah.
Is that something like, did you come up with that on the guitar? And there's a female vocal in there. That's a good song.
It's that one. I think that really tested the abilities of my computer. I think at the end that was something like 109, 110 tracks.
Wow.
So that was one wide mix.
Yeah.
But I did a lot of that on the guitar. I did a lot of that, worked it all out. And then it sort of built and built and built and built. It started off at 5 minutes. And then I took the idea that the album was all about, mental health and being good to yourself and living for today, not in the past or not in the future, but just living for the now and feeling what you are now and enjoying your this second and this moment in time. And that's where I wanted to finish that album. All right, it's the second to last track, but I wanted to finish that album with like a big journey through that process. And that's where like all the noise and the sort of pain and the screaming and then the journey through from that place to another place. That was really a studio song and what you could do with the studio and how you can make it. And I just gave myself the time and the freedom to explore, really. And that was really, really, really quite cool. And then I love the end of that album where I then go to a simple piano, vocal, guitar, acoustic guitar song. So it goes from this raucous stupidity of 100 tracks and the computer panting when you're trying to do anything with it to just like an acoustic and piano, which I just that was just like nowhere near their level. But when you listen to a Queen album, you can go from this to this, and that's just something that I always made me go, wow. And I was just like,
yes, that's something that I think we miss. Music is over compressed and everything, but the dynamic range and the the tension and the resolution. That's what it's all about in songwriting. Is you create tension and then you resolve it. And you delay the resolution of it this way, and then you delay it that way.
Yeah, and then the next time you delay it a little bit longer, so people are waiting for it, and then you tease them a bit more, and then drop it. And that's cool. That's all.
Oh yeah, I know you're a master of that. When I hear your songs, it's a lot of fun. And I wanted to ask you if you had any questions about the NFT thing, because just for people watching, like you're completely new to crypto, is that right?
Yeah, completely. Yeah, if I'm the type of guy that if I've got money in my pocket for a Friday beer, that was it really. I've never done anything at all with cryptocurrency or whatever. Very organic within music and within money. But I have no idea about it whatsoever. So the only thing that
that's awesome.
I was going to ask was, say you sell a song for so many whatever soul credits. How does that then get transferred into real money?
That's a good question. I mean, that's a very good question for a lot of people, right? Well, right now, in order to buy Sol, you have to buy another cryptocurrency first, basically. There are, centralized exchanges where there's it's kind of like a stock exchange or something. There are buy and sell orders sitting there.
Right.
And then there's Uniswap, which is a decentralized exchange where there's not really a buy and sell order sitting there. You just go and you swap at the current price, whatever that happens to be. And that one, you never actually like give control of your currency away, so it's kind of safer in a way, I suppose.
Yeah.
In fact, because the one place, KuCoin, where there is a lot of Sol for sale, it was hacked actually, and they got most of their stuff back, and nobody lost any money. It was actually kind of really well handled, but it is a Chinese exchange, and there are concerns about that, and there are limits on what people can do and that kind of thing. Because like you don't qualify for the know your customer thing if you're not Chinese or in certain countries. I'm not sure exactly, but I know I don't here. And so you have like limits on your account. You can only buy so much and that kind of thing. And so what you would have to do is you'd have to first buy Bitcoin or Ethereum through a like Coinbase or whatever it is. Like a big. It's a lot of places that you can do it now, whether it's, Square or PayPal or whatever it is. I haven't used PayPal. I don't know for a fact that you can use that. But yeah, so then you would have to send that Bitcoin or Ethereum to either your wallet, if you're going to use Uniswap, or you would send it to an exchange if you're going to buy it from KuCoin, which is, again, like the centralized exchange. And so then once they get that, then the thing with Sol is it is actually a little bit more complex than others too, because it's so advanced that it exists across 3 blockchains. So there's only ever going to be like so many of these, right? There's a certain level of inflation, but it's less than that of Ethereum. And right now there's like 90 some million coins. And so it doesn't create new ones, but you can swap them back and forth. So you can have Sol exist in its sort of main form, or you can swap it to Ethereum, and then it will exist on the Ethereum blockchain as an ERC20 token, and that's the form that's on Uniswap, because Uniswap is like, it runs on Ethereum. You can only buy with Ethereum on Uniswap, or on KuCoin it's actually in its Neo form. So you have to swap it to that, and it's like an extra step. But all of these things are a little bit like first mover, early adopter kinds of things. That's why we're so interested in this, and using it for NFTs. And so a lot of these, it's like driving a Formula One car versus like a luxury wagon. So when you're the first person to do something, it might take extra steps and be a little bit more techie or whatever. But before long, they'll have like one-click swaps, and everything is going to be really smooth by say next year or something like that.
So basically, it's like. So it's just an exchange, really. So it's just an exchange, like a currency exchange, really, if you were going on holiday. So you just exchange this for this, but it might be a little bit more complicated in the middle.
In the middle. Well, in the middle is not so bad. It's just it all happens inside your wallet, as far as like moving it from different chains.
Yeah.
It's sort of like your hub, and inside your wallet, if you have it's called a poltergeist wallet. It's all like ghost metaphors with Phantasma. So what you want to do is when you get it, you want to stake it. You want to swap it to the main net so that you can stake it, because when you stake it, then you get these rewards every day. You get kcal. And so like whatever amount of Sol that you have, as long as that's staked in your wallet, then you get these rewards for having it. And staking just means that basically you're taking it out of circulation. So there's all these ways in which, it kind of helps improve the price in a way too, but it also runs the network. Like kcal, you need kcal to do anything on the network. And the kind people involved in the Sol community have donated a bunch of kcal, and I'm going to send you some, as well as some Sol from me personally, as thanks for doing this.
Yeah.
And in addition to, I'm going to bid some Sol on your NFT, that's for sure. So it's already going to be in your interest, and you're going to find out, I think, the Sol community is going to be behind you, especially when you do the NFT, not just the person who invests in it, which may well be me, who knows, I might get outbid. But I'm going to try. We'll see what happens. I'm not a rich man, but but yeah, because I believe that some of these early ones could be worth a lot of money. I'm a collector, I guess, by nature, and I think the first ones are going to be special, and because we were the first ones to do it and that kind of thing. And so, I'm and it means a lot to me to have you on here and to have this opportunity to sort of right the wrongs that I feel I did on the way. I would feel really bad if I had wasted your time or whatever before.
Oh, man, that's cool. That's what happens. That's the life gets in the way, and then no, it's good to talk. It's great.
Yeah, you too, man. I really appreciate it. And I should mention still, I have to say, I don't know that new song, the cold coffee.
Cold morning coffee.
Cold morning coffee. Yes.
Yeah.
And actually, another reason that reminds me of the Grateful Dead right away, though, is just one of my favorite Grateful Dead songs. Robert Hunter lyric. Did you know that song "Loser"? I don't know if it's one of their.
I probably heard it. I'm not really that much up on the Dead actually, but I probably heard it because that's where I've lived.
I think a lot of people are allergic to them.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like the Grateful Dead, and I get it.
Yeah.
But that to me is one of their very best songs, "Loser." And there's this line in there, something about like "Don't touch hard liquor, just a cup of cold coffee." That's one of my favorite songs by them. And so immediately when I hear "Cold Coffee," I think of that song.
Yeah.
And then the Jam was there too, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm having a flashback, man."
Cool.
But no, you nail the piano jam. I've never been able to get that sound. Certainly not on my own, and I just can't even believe that you can do it and so well. I mean,
cool. Thank you. Yeah, I think a lot of trial and error, a lot of effort. It's like when I'm doing these, I'm running 2 songs at the minute that I'm writing as a video. So the sort of idea I've got is watch the documentary as it's made. So that's Haunt of Old, which is running on YouTube, and then on my Patreon page is a song called 21, both of which I want to get done and distributed and out by the end of this year. And it's something I've done it before. I did a series back in 2018 about how I wrote some of the songs for the Has It Got What It Takes album. Well, not wrote them, how I produced them, I put them together. But doing these 2 songs now, I'm trying to break the videos down to a maximum 10 minutes, maybe 12 minutes, because if I could leave the video running and I could be in here for like 2, 3, 4 hours doing one part, and it's like, that's not right. I'll go back and do it again. Oh, that's not and that's not right. But then when it comes off, that's what music is. A lot of people think, I think we've been tricked a lot into perfection and music being all perfect. People who are into music, people who know music, know that that's not true. Even if they're not musicians, people who like the feel of a performance. And that's something that I try to get when I'm producing and I'm recording my own songs. I try to get that best performance, even if that takes a whole day to do one song or one performance. Efficient, it's not. Sometimes it is, but most of the time when I'm recording, I just want to play. I want to go for the next one. I want to try another one. I want to try another one. I'm looking for that performance. And 9 times out of 10, once you've done it, you can, that's it. I can replicate that performance maybe, but I think that's the best one. Even if it's not the cleanest, even if it's not maybe the best technically, you can just tell the feeling, and that's like say with the groove with the piano and the guitar and stuff like that, you can just feel it. And that was something that I learned really working with Warren, really, from what we said before with Produce Like a Pro. And something that maybe I've been knowing myself, but I needed somebody to sort of say it back to myself, not me saying it in a mirror, somebody else to say it to me. Go for the performance, not for the perfection, sort of thing. But that's cool. And when it's all put together, when you put a song together, you'll know this from when you took your songs or when you've been mixing other people's songs. put things together, you listen to it separately and you can say, oh, that's a bit sloppy, or that doesn't work, or that's that. But when it goes together, the magic happens, and that's when it all blends together. It's like a picture, like a painting, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Happy accidents, like Bob Ross, right?
yeah, I have many of those.
Yeah, yeah. It's and I think a lot of people don't realize too. It's like, the microphone is itself an instrument. The room is an instrument.
Yeah.
Everything contributes to it. And so when you sit down and you want to play this thing that, sounded great where you were practicing it, it might not sound anything like what you thought it was going to, or what it sounded like before when you change one tiny thing.
Yeah.
And so a lot of the very, very best recordings, I mean, they were, basically made around the sound that they were getting at the time, and they wrote the song, right there in the studio or something.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of these studios have got iconic status. I was listening to something like, EVH, Eddie, bless him. The Van Halen album, the first one, Sunset Sounds. The sound of that record is that room. It's that equipment. The Beatles, up until when they went to Savile Row, Abbey Road, Studio B or Studio 2. It's that space, it's that room, it's that place. In here, in my little studio, I actually find if I've got some acoustic treatment, I still need more. I'm still putting more in, but I sit in a different place and play an acoustic guitar. It sounds better in certain places than it does in others.
You're right there in a studio, so you've got that going on there. You can write your songs right around the sound you're getting, and record that exact sound.
I have to stand in the corner. That's really good here, but
that wouldn't be so good for the videos, huh?
Yeah, stage the videos, put it in the nice place, but then go and do it in the good sounding place.
That's right.
Cool.
All right. Well, I really appreciate you talking to me. Is there anything else I can answer about NFTs, or anything I should mention before I was going to play you out with "Why Do We Follow," because that is my personal favorite song. I hope you don't mind.
Yeah, cool. No, that's great. No, I think that's great, man. I like the idea. And as I've said to you, I don't want to close off any door or close off any avenue without exploring. I think as a musician, it's got to be something that it can be done, organically. For me, I need to do it with that sense of this is what I do, not making something just for the sake of making something and making it, a production. So making something organic and doing it organic, and basically, if it's a bottom up musician creator driven idea, I'm happy to support and try and help as much as I can, and hopefully, if it takes off, hopefully, it can be a line of revenue, because that's what we're in it for.
That's the whole idea. Absolutely. You doing this is really going to go a long way toward making that happen. And I hope everyone out there who's watching this really appreciates what you did. I mean, it's not, easy, and it takes the right kind of person, I think, to just be willing to do this. And that's why I know that you're the perfect person for this. And I know that you're a good investment, and I know that your career is unstoppable at this point.
Cool.
And, you need some people behind you, I think, who are invested. And I think that's what, every musician needs. And I think every musician deserves. And, if we can be a part of making that happen, then, whatever I can do to make it happen, I'm going to do it.
Thank you very much. Cool.
Well, thank you, Kian. I really appreciate having you on. We're going to listen to "Why Do We Follow," and I hope to see not just this one NFT from you, "Horns of Old." We're going to be looking for that, and people can. Do you have some of your pre-production of that up on YouTube, or is that only on Patreon?
No, the "Horns of Old" is on YouTube.
Okay.
So that one's going to be. I've got another session booked in for tomorrow.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So
Very cool. So people should tune into
another
that.
video coming out for the next section of the writing of that song, Saturday, Sunday this week. And then the other song that I'm writing at this minute in time is called 21. And that's exclusively for patrons, for Patreon folk.
Okay.
So I'm basically running them both at the same time, but trying to, cater for two audiences. And hopefully if people like Haunts of Old, they might jump into Patreon to support me there and to get even more in-depth sort of insight into behind the scenes of being an independent musician in my home studio sort of thing. So that's cool.
Absolutely. We'll make sure to put the link to all of you. You've got a YouTube. We want to make sure we have that, and your Patreon.
Yeah, cool.
And people should definitely check that out. Subscribe, because you have stuff coming out all the time. I'm always amazed. It's just
I've got
awesome.
I'm just pre-production for a new album for next year. I don't know how I'm going to distribute that yet. Whether that will be as I've got a feeling I'm going to do the song every month. To keep the momentum going, and
Nice.
And instead of just holding myself up and hiding in here for 6 months to produce an album and then put it out, I'll probably do a song every 6 months. All the remixes for the old songs are all stacked up to come out. I think it's every 2 weeks I'm releasing a song on Spotify or putting one out on distribution.
Wow.
But yeah, so pre-production for another album next year. I looked at my list of songs and ideas, and I think I'm 199 at the minute.
Wow.
But they're not all finished songs, but they're ideas, and like a bridge here or a guitar part here. Every time I pick up a guitar, something will drop off the board. And these things are amazing nowadays. You don't need a studio. I just put it on there and then collate it later on. But yeah, so there's all this music that I need to get out and to produce, and I just love it. I think I've hidden away from it for so long. Did other things, was an engineer, a teacher, did everything else other than do my music, and I've got all this music I need to get out and I want to make a career out of. And I want to be able to be a sustainable, independent musician, and to get this music out, and hopefully people.
Yeah. Well, I hope this can be that for you and for so many people. And, if we are the first ones to get in and this becomes huge, I mean, it could be pretty amazing what could happen. I mean,
yeah, cool one. Yeah.
I was not, trying to be, I wasn't trying to just like make this crazy video where there's, a hype for no reason. I mean, it's obvious, like if you're getting paid, thousands of these coins and they become worth a lot because everyone's using them, it could be incredible. And honestly, this is just one small part of what is going on with this, the minting of NFTs. That's just one sort of small facet actually of what's going on with Phantasma, but it could be huge. It could be if we can make it that. And I don't know any other way that we can. If I did, I would have done it.
Yeah.
I've been looking for a long time, and honestly, you have to get to the bottom of that J curve where you completely give up. I mean, you have to think, I'm never gonna find this. There's no way. Whatever. But still, I kept looking, and then this sort of just hit me in the face, like this really could actually work. This is the first thing I've seen that actually has a chance. And so we're going to keep pushing hard, and I don't want to waste that chance. That's the idea. So
no, that's right. Grab it both hands, and it's going to be ups and downs, but ride it. And if you believe in it, go with it. It's, as I said, it's a creative thing. It's a music thing. I think it's part of you just got to do it. And if you believe it, stay on it. Don't be put off. Stay on it.
Yeah, to me, it's like, I don't know. It's like a Blues Brothers, Tenacious D kind of movie at this point for me. I have to see this through to the end. I don't care if I benefit or not. Like, I just have to win, you know?
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I get you.
Well, thanks for coming on, Kian. Great talking to you. I really appreciate it. And this is Why Do We Follow? This song really speaks to me. I hope you guys like it.
Cool. Excellent. Peace.
Just 'cause you lead, why should we follow? The things said today never happen tomorrow. The more I reach, the more people see. Why do you lead? Why should we follow? Too many people forgetting their conscience, or pretending to care while they tell you their problems. But how do we know what's right from wrong? And just 'cause you lead, why should we follow? Just hiding behind the lights, promises paradise. Just old devils in disguise, planning on tomorrow. Is your word